opportunity is knocking at the door.
Las oportunidades están tocando a las puertas.
We all have circumstances where we're presented with a choice.
Todos tenemos circunstancias donde somos presentados con un escoger.
We have to make a choice.
Tenemos que tomar una decisión
If it comes from God
si tiene que venir de Dios
or not.
o si no viene de Dios.
Did God open his door
Si Dios abrió esa puerta
or not?
o no la abrió.
I'm going to go to the first book of Samuel,
Vamos a buscar en el libro de Samuel, primera de Samuel,
the 24th chapter.
el capítulo 24, primera de Samuel, capítulo 24.
And we're going to read from 1 to 7.
Y vamos a leer los versos del 1 al 7.
When we all have it.
Cuando lo tengan, digan amén. Capítulo 24 de primera de Samuel, versículo 1 al 7.
We all have it? Okay.
Amén.
After Saul returned from pursuing the Philistines, he was told, David is in the desert of En-Gedi. So Saul took 3,000 chosen men from all Israel and set out to look for David and his men near the crags of the wild goats. He came to the sheep pens along the way. A cave was there, and Saul went in to relieve himself. David and his men were far back in the cave. The men said, This is the day the Lord spoke of when he said to you, I will give your enemy into your hands for you to deal with as you wish. Then David crept up unnoticed and cut off a corner of Saul's robe. Afterward, David was conscience-stricken for having cut off a corner of his robe. He said to his men, The Lord forbid that I should do such a thing to my master, the Lord's anointed, or lift my hand against him, for he is the appointed of the Lord. With these words, David rebuked his men and did not allow them to attack Saul, and Saul left the cave and went his way. The Lord brought me to this verse, or these verses,
El Señor me trajo a estos versículos
to see the opportunity that was presented to David.
para ver la oportunidad que le fue presentada a David.
David himself, his being,
David, su propia persona, su ser,
had a choice,
tuvo una decisión,
had an opportunity to make a choice.
tuvo una oportunidad para elegir.
If we go to the Merriam-Webster dictionary,
Si vamos al diccionario Webster,
opportunity means
la palabra oportunidad quiere decir
a set of circumstances
un grupo de circunstancias
that make it possible
que hace posible
to do something.
para hacer algo.
So if we're talking the spiritual world,
So, si estamos hablando en el mundo espiritual,
it's somewhere where we advance,
es un lugar donde nosotros avanzamos.
an opportunity to advance,
Es una oportunidad para avanzar,
to make progress,
para hacer progreso,
to have a better life,
para tener una mejor vida
and to thrive.
y para vivir, para thrive.
I want to look at two scenarios from these few verses.
Quiero mirar a dos diferentes escenarios en estos versículos
And apply it to our life.
y aplicarlo a nuestras vidas.
What could have happened
Lo que pudo haber pasado
and what did happen.
y lo que pasó.
Okay. What I'm going to do is take the first one
So, lo que voy a hacer es que voy a tomar el primero
and take the first scenario and what could have happened.
y voy a escoger el primer escenario que pudo haber pasado.
It could have not turned out too good for Saul.
Pudo no haber salido muy bien para Saúl.
David could have killed Saul.
David pudo haber matado a Saúl.
One thing I want you guys to keep in mind,
Algo que yo quiero que ustedes mantengan en la mente presente,
the opportunity did come from God.
la oportunidad sí vino de Dios.
All opportunities
Todas las oportunidades
in the spiritual world
en el mundo espiritual
do come from God.
vienen del Señor.
We should never
Nosotros nunca debemos
give opportunity
dar oportunidad
to Satan
a Satanás
to be exalted above God.
para que sea exaltado sobre Dios.
So in other words,
So, en otras palabras,
whenever we're presented with an opportunity
cuando nosotros siempre estamos presentados con una oportunidad
and it doesn't go right,
y no sale bien,
Satan's name comes up first.
lo primero que sale es el nombre de Satanás.
But we shouldn't do that.
Pero nosotros no debemos hacer eso.
All glory, all honor
Toda gloria y toda honra
should always go to God,
siempre se debe dar a Dios,
in good or bad.
en lo bueno o en lo malo.
The first scenario,
El primer escenario,
like I said,
como les dije,
Saul could have been killed,
Saúl pudo haber sido matado
and David would have been in a worse position.
y David hubiese estado en una posición mala.
Just to go back on the story a little bit,
Solo para regresarnos atrás un poco en la historia,
David was running away from Saul,
David estaba corriendo, huyendo de Saúl.
and he was at one of his worst moments,
Y David estaba en uno de sus momentos más terribles,
where he was just hiding and didn't know what to do.
donde él estaba huyendo, escondiéndose y él no sabía qué hacer.
Because not only was Saul looking for him,
Porque no solamente Saúl le buscaba,
everybody was looking for him.
pero todo el mundo le buscaba.
People had an opportunity
La persona tenía una oportunidad
to turn David in
para entregar a David,
so that they could look good with Saul.
para verse bien con el rey Saúl.
So David was aware of this.
So David estaba consciente de esto.
So we're going to take the first scenario.
So vamos a tomar el primer escenario.
If something, if the scenario does not go well,
Si el escenario no hubiese ido bien,
two reasons why it could not have gone well.
dos razones por las cuales el escenario no hubiese ido bien.
The first one,
La primera,
outside influences
las influencias de afuera
tried to distract him.
trataron de distraerlo.
That's the first one.
Esa fue la primera.
Through people,
Por medio de la gente,
family,
la
friends,
familia, los amigos,
etc.
etc.
And we could go to verse 4 for that.
Y podemos ir al verso 4 para eso.
The men said, "This is the day the Lord spoke of, when he said to you, I will give your enemy into your hands for you to deal with as you wish." Then David crept up and noticed and cut off a corner of Saul's robe. If we notice,
Si
the men that
notamos,
were with him
si notamos, los hombres que estaban con David
were trying to convince him
estaban tratando de convencer a David
that this was his opportunity
que esa era la oportunidad de él
to come out good.
para él saber bien.
But it was outside influences,
Pero eran influencias de afuera,
people
la gente,
that were trying to distract him.
personas que le estaban tratando de distraer.
The second one,
La segunda,
thoughts.
pensamientos.
In that same verse,
En el mismo verso
it says, Then David,
dice, entonces David,
in verse 4,
en el verso 4,
crept up and unnoticed
él se pasó sin que se dieran cuenta de él
and cut off a corner of Saul's robe.
y le cortó una porción del manto de Saúl.
So in other words,
So, en otras palabras,
somebody was trying to convince David,
alguien estaba tratando de convencer a David,
and he had it in his mind, David had it in his mind,
y David lo tenía en su mente,
that he could get Saul then and there.
que él podía agarrar a Saúl y matarle ahí.
That this was his opportunity.
Esta era su oportunidad.
And he also acted on it.
Y él actuó.
He started to act on it.
Él comenzó a actuar.
So he cut off his robe.
So le cortó un pedazo de su ropa.
David could have seized this opportunity
David hubiese cogido ese momento
and not done the right thing
y no hubiese hecho lo correcto.
or made a bad choice.
O pudo haber tomado una mala decisión.
From these verses, that's the first scenario.
De estos versículos, eso es lo primero.
The second scenario from
El segundo escenario de ese mismo versículo.
how do we seize the right opportunity?
¿Cómo nosotros tomamos la oportunidad correcta?
The first one,
La primera,
our connection to God.
nuestra conexión a Dios.
We'll go to verse 5. You don't have to read it. We'll go
Pueden
to
ir al
verse
verso
5.
5.
Afterward, David was conscience-stricken for having cut off a corner of his robe. David was convicted by the Holy Spirit.
Luego David podemos ver que fue convencido por el Espíritu Santo.
Conscience-stricken.
En
The
su
Holy
conciencia,
Spirit
el Espíritu Santo
convicted him
le trajo convicción
because of his connection to God.
por su conexión a Dios.
So because of his connection to God,
Por eso, por la conexión de David hacia Dios,
he seized the right opportunity
él tomó la oportunidad correcta
and took it in the correct manner.
y la tomó en la manera correcta.
All he did was cut off his robe.
Lo único que hizo fue cortar el borde de su ropa,
He did not kill Saul
pero él no mató a Saúl
because of his connection to God.
por su conexión con Dios.
His outside influences
Es las influencias de afuera
and his thoughts, which were affected,
y sus pensamientos estaban afectados
because of his connection to God.
por su conexión con Dios.
He did not seize the wrong opportunity,
Él no tomó la oportunidad incorrecta
and he listened to the Holy Spirit.
y él escuchó al Espíritu Santo.
The second of this scenario
La segunda de este escenario,
is his reverence,
su reverencia,
his respect,
el respeto,
his honor,
el honor,
his duty.
no sé, perdón,
To God.
devoción a Dios.
Yes, to God. And we're going to go to verse 6
Ahora vamos a bajar al verso 6.
in those same verses. He said to his men, "The Lord forbid that I do such a thing to my master, the Lord's anointed, or lift my hand against him, for he is anointed of the Lord." In other words, he kept bringing the Lord because of his honor, his duty, his respect, his reverence for God.
Por causa de su reverencia a Dios, su respeto, su compromiso hacia Dios, él dijo que Dios no me permita a tocar a este hombre porque este hombre está ungido de Dios.
Because of this, he did not do it.
Por su convicción, él no lo hizo.
The third of the in this scenario,
En la próxima escena, la tercera escena,
his faith in God.
su fe en Dios.
We're going to go to verse 8.
Ahí podemos bajar al versículo 8.
Then David went out of the cave and called out to Saul, "My lord the king." When Saul looked behind him, David bowed down and prostrated himself with his face to the ground. In this verse, we notice that we talked at the beginning of the sermon.
Hablamos en este verso, al principio del sermón, hablamos
That Saul was looking for David
que Saúl andaba buscando a David
to kill him.
para matarlo.
But because of David's faith,
Pero por la fe de David,
David came out of the cave
David salió de la cueva
and confronted Saul.
y enfrentó a Saúl.
Because of his faith,
Por su fe,
he knew
él sabía
he was making the correct decision
Él sabía que estaba haciendo la decisión correcta
and that this was his opportunity.
y que esta era su oportunidad.
Not when he could have killed him with the sword.
No cuando tuvo la oportunidad de matarle con la espada.
In the midst of adversity,
En el medio de la adversidad,
he made the right choice.
él hizo la decisión correcta.
In other words,
En otras palabras,
as we spoke of at the beginning,
como hablamos al principio,
he was at his lowest point in his life.
él estaba en el punto más bajo de su vida.
In verse 3,
En el verso 3
it said,
dice,
he came to the sheep pens along the way. A cave was there, and Saul went in to relieve himself. David and his men were far back in the cave. David and his men were in a cave where people go to use the bathroom, number 1 and number 2.
David y sus hombres fueron a una cueva donde la gente iba a utilizar el baño.
He was at his lowest point in his life.
Él estaba en lo más bajo de su vida.
He couldn't get any lower.
No podía bajarse de eso, en una cueva para utilizar el baño.
And even in the midst of this adversity,
Pero aún en medio de esta adversidad,
he still knew
él todavía sabía
to look to God.
mirar hacia Dios.
His connection to God
Su conexión con Dios
is what made him
es lo que lo hizo
seize the right opportunity,
tomar la oportunidad correcta,
even at his lowest point.
aún en su punto más débil.
Taking advantage of the opportunities
Tomar oportunidad de una oportunidad
that God creates.
de una oportunidad que Dios creó.
This brings,
Esto nos trae,
in other words,
En otras
if
palabras.
you're taking the correct opportunity,
en otras palabras, si tú estás escogiendo la oportunidad correcta,
it should bring us
debe de traernos
peace.
paz.
In verse 8,
En el verso 8,
David
David
was at peace
estaba en paz,
in making his decision to come out of the cave.
tomando su decisión a salir de la cueva,
Seizing the correct opportunity
tomando la oportunidad correcta,
also brings
también nos trae
fulfillment.
llenura.
We're going to jump a little bit to
Vamos a brincar un poquito
in that same chapter
en ese mismo capítulo
to verse 20.
para el versículo 20.
I know that you will surely be king, and the kingdom of Israel will be established in your hands. By David seizing the correct opportunity,
Por David haber tomado la oportunidad correcta,
even his enemies
aún su enemigo
knew his fulfillment.
sabía su llenura.
Couldn't stop his fulfillment
No podía parar su llenura
through his connection with God.
por medio de su conexión con Dios.
And the last one,
Y la última,
favor.
el favor. Aleluya.
We're going to go to that same chapter,
Vamos a ir al mismo capítulo,
21 and 22.
el versículo 21 y 22.
Now swear to me by the Lord, that you will not cut off my descendants or wipe out my name from my father's family. This is Saul speaking.
Ahora estamos viendo aquí, eso es Saúl hablando.
So David gave his oath to Saul. Then Saul returned home, but David and his men went up to the stronghold. David was shown favor
David enseñó a favor
by God
por Dios
because he seized the correct opportunity.
porque él escogió la oportunidad correcta.
And for his obedience
Y por su obediencia
to the Holy Spirit
al Espíritu Santo
and his connection to God.
y su conexión a Dios.
I'm just going to close with this.
Solamente ahora quiero cerrar con esto.
God will never stop creating
El Señor no parará de crear
opportunities for his children.
oportunidades para sus hijos,
For his children.
para sus hijos.
It is up to us
Es de parte de nosotros
to seize these opportunities correctly.
tomar estas oportunidades correctamente.
God, in his infinite love
Dios en su infinito amor
for us,
por nosotros
will never stop opening doors for us.
nunca va a dejar de abrir puertas para nosotros.
We might fail to seize an opportunity
Quizás nosotros podemos fallar de tomar una oportunidad
at one time or another,
en un tiempo u otro,
but it is okay.
pero está bien.
It is okay.
Está bien.
We just learn from it
Acabamos de aprender
what we can
lo que podemos
and be more alert for the next one.
y estar más atentos para la próxima puerta.
Don't beat yourselves up over past failures
No esté atormentándose por fallos de su pasado
and opportunities that you did not fulfill.
o oportunidades que usted no las logró.
God still believes in you
Dios todavía cree en ti
and is still backing you up.
y todavía te respalda.
Hallelujah.
Amén. Wow.
We're going to close with that, and now we're going to go to the second part. I think